Hello and welcome back to the Aligned Mind Body Show. Today I am here for an awesome hip realignment stretch routine. We're going to help rebalance your hips, stretch important areas to relieve pain and discomfort in the lower body. I am being joined today by Danny, who will be our model. So when we get back, we'll be on the ground, laying down, face up, and we'll have a yoga block for today. This is the only prop you will need, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, so make sure you feel relaxed, make sure you feel comfortable, and you find your safe space. So we're going to start with some nice mindful breathing to help move the diaphragm, expand the belly, and get into some nice deep muscles into the hip in the front and those deep abdominal muscles. So place the hands on the belly, and you're going to take nice gentle inhales and exhales where you feel the belly rise just a bit. Now the breathing will stay mostly there. This breathing, each time you take it, it allows your diaphragm to expand and allows more room for your internal organs and once again to relieve or release those tight tissues and muscles. Continue to practice for a few more inhales and exhales. And this will also set the tone for your session today. Go ahead and take about 2 more, belly rising. Very good. Nice. And one last one, deep expansive breath. And keep this type of breathing throughout the whole flow today. You're going to go ahead and place your feet flat on the ground, bend your knees, and you're going to lift your hips up in a glute bridge position. And you're going to slide the block underneath the sacrum and the hip. You're going to lower the hip down, and you're going to make sure that it's supporting that joint area there. Bring the legs a little bit closer and lengthen the left leg all the way down as you keep your right knee. Perfect. And then once again, she's tapping into that breathing that she was just practicing. That's why we did it, because now you're exposing the hip in the front a little bit more. So you want to inhale and exhale, expand into here. Perfect. So she is quite flexible, so I will go into a little bit of deeper ranges today, but stay in the position that feels good for you, okay? Go ahead, hug that knee in towards you, the right knee, and give it a nice stretch towards your chest. Perfect. And take a couple of nice deep inhales and exhales. The block underneath the hip helps to expand the hip flexor in the front and allows your low back to come into that gentle curve, which is good for you. Perfect. And then gently place the foot down and let's switch, placing this left foot down, lengthening the right leg, hands on that lower belly and taking those nice deep breaths where you feel the lower belly rise. This type of breathing also allows you to soften or connect a little bit deeper, soften the nervous system. Therefore, your muscles, your fascia tissues relax a little bit more. So breathing is very important as you're stretching. Go ahead and hug this left knee in towards you, give it a nice little pull, and you continue to practice those deep inhalations and exhalations into the belly. Perfect. Allow at least 2 more. Very good. And the last one, big breath here. Stretches are usually held for about 20-30 seconds. 30 seconds is ideal, but. And then gently release, place both the feet flat on the ground. Go ahead, pick the hips up off the block, Release the hips down. Cross the left leg over the right thigh. All the way through, you're gonna cover it up. And then what you're gonna do is press this top leg down into the bottom leg. This is her right leg, and she's gonna stretch it over to the left side, So you're gonna go press through. Some people go the other way. It's more of a yoga stretch. This is going to allow you to apply pressure of the top leg down into this leg, which gives it more of like, it's a much nicer stretch. I'm gonna give you the IT band, the side of the hip. She's gonna reach her right hand overhead, taking a nice deep breath all throughout the side of the body. It's gonna give you a gentle twist. And once again, we're working on hip realignment, hip stretching, rebalancing it. Perfect. Roll it back to the center. Awesome, very good. Unravel and switch it over to the other side. So right leg over the left. And remember, you're sending it towards that side. So towards the right side. Perfect. She's gently applying pressure of that top leg into the bottom leg, which is going to get her IT band, the side of the hip, the psoas, and then she reaches and breathes. Inhaling and exhaling, still practicing that breathing, which is going to help her stretch a little bit more. Give yourself at least one more deep breath. That's great. And then gently release back towards the center. Very good. Unravel the legs. And we're going to do, it's as much work as you'll do today, but it really opens up your lower back. I'm going to roll her pants up so you guys can see her knees. And then, because it requires you to do something with the knees. So you're going to lengthen the legs all the way down, bringing the big toes together and separating the heels like a little pizza slice. Now, she's going to bend the knees enough to where she can squeeze the thighs towards each other, okay? So, and then she's going to stretch the feet and the toes towards her nose. So she's going to create a dorsiflexion. Keep the heels there. Awesome, right there. Now her knees are a little bit more bent, and that is okay too. If this is a good stretch for you, it may be for someone, keep it there. If you want a little bit more, lengthen the legs much more. Very good. Keep going, going, going. And then hold it here. Now she's going to bring those knees together gently. And then this sometimes, if you're at home, you can look at your knees and see if they are uneven. So you can actually check your alignment. So I want you to come and check because you're going to check yourself. And you see that this knee is slightly different than the other one. So what you're going to do is lengthen the left leg and then make them a little bit more even. And then now you're a little bit more centered. So you will center your knees to where they look even to each other. So flex the feet a little bit more. This is going to help to create that nice alignment, which is important to relieve pain. Misalignment is going to cause joint pressure and improper weight distribution throughout the body. Perfect. You just hold, you squeeze. You need to give it some time so it can actually realign. And then release and relax. Break. Shake it off. That was quick. All right, she's going to place the feet flat on the ground. She's going to bring the block in between her inner thighs. She's going to squeeze into the block. You can squeeze into a pillow, into a block. She's going to press her hips up into a nice high bridge, as high as she can go. She's going to draw gently. Beautiful. And then nice deep breathing. This is going to be kind of working and opening up the low back, breathing into the front of the hip. And once again, using the block to realign. The block is hip width. Her legs are equally pressing into the block. So that means that it's even pressure. So that's very good for your alignment. And then gently release and relax. Awesome. She's going to go ahead and take this out. Very, very good. Grabbing the left knee towards you, lengthening the right leg all the way down. And then she's going to leave her right hand over that left knee, bring the left hand on the ground, and stretch it gently to the right side. So go ahead for a gentle cross stretch, cross body stretch. Beautiful. You go to wherever it feels good for you. No pressure. You don't have to get all the way down to the ground. Some of us are a little bit more mobile, some maybe a little tighter. Go to wherever it feels good for you. Perfect. And then gently bring it back in and just switch it over, simple stretch towards the other side. Once again, getting these rotations, kind of moving the joints. Bring it in. Internal rotation is very good for you. Just think about when you go to a chiropractor, they internally adjust you. So that's how you want to kind of stretch yourself in that direction. Beautiful. Breathing, inhaling, and exhaling. Very good. About one more deep breath. Shoulders relax, body is relaxed, the breathing is relaxing you even more. Roll back to the center. Awesome. And then she'll release and relax. She's going to go ahead and turn it over on towards the belly, and she's going to rest her forehead on her forearms. Her arms are crossed. Now this is also some pretty cool hip stuff. You're going to bend the knees and bring the heels towards your glutes. Beautiful. And then she's going to roll the feet over towards one direction, letting her hips relax to one side. Perfect. Breathing, inhales and exhales. Very gentle, subtle. Remember, don't force any ranges. Just let it fall. Let it go. And then gently bringing it back to the center and over to the other side. Letting the hip relax. Perfect. Breathing, inhaling, and exhaling. So good to do after a long day of sitting or just maybe driving, stuck in traffic, maybe just stressed. You need to relax your hips, relax your back a little bit. Roll back to the center. Very good. And then relax the legs all the way through. And we're going to just do a nice infamous cobra. So you're going to have the hands by the shoulders. You're going to press up into a nice cobra extension. It's just going to stretch everything. The front of the hip, the lower back. So it's great for you. Beautiful. And then gently release and relax. Perfect. She's going to go and press into a tabletop position. So you're going to come into tabletop. Now this that I'll show you next is different than a pigeon pose. So you're going to come into a plank. Beautiful. You're going to lower the knees down. Perfect. And then what you're going to do is in tabletop, it's slightly different than pigeon because we're so used to pigeon. So it's going to look like this. Left toes are untucked. You bring it to the left. And then you slide the right leg back. And then you feel the opening of the hip a little bit more. Perfect. So, beautiful. Breathing. It's not pigeon. It's different than pigeon. If your foot is really tight, this may be a little uncomfortable, so just hang on there. You can use the block. I'm going to put the block so she can use it. Place the right hand here. She has beautiful ranges of motion, so perfect. All right, and if this feels good for you here, stay here. If you want to work a little bit more and you want to stretch a little deeper, bring this right foot towards your glute and reach with your left hand, reach with the opposite hand, because it's going to help to align you. If you reach the other way, your hip may kind of open to the back. So, and then the stretch will be up to you, how much you want to pull that foot towards you or whatnot. It depends how tight the quad is. So we're targeting the quad, the hip flexors, the psoas. Perfect. And then gently release. You can tuck the right toes in. You can come into a quick plank, and then you can just switch and transition to the other side. Opposite knee to the wrist, and then she'll lower down. Beautiful. Put the block on the other hand so you can get that extra lift. And she's letting the hip relax down. So this left hip is softening towards the ground. Beautiful. Inhaling and exhaling. Perfect. Remember, you can stay here and work with this range of motion. Perfect. Wherever you are, it's perfect. But some of us want to push a little bit more into a deeper stretch, and that's great too. So you have your options, and you're going to bring this foot towards you. Reach with the opposite hand, so it's the right hand. Perfect. And you see how it closes that hip? That's very important. So you're going to feel a really good hip stretch. Different than pigeon. Pigeon kind of skips a little bit of this hip flexor stuff. So this is a really good one for hip flexors. It's like a regular of mine. Nice stretch. Beautiful. One more deep inhale and exhale here. She's like, ooh, this is kind of tight. Tight. And then you'll gently release. You can get rid of the block, and then you can just go ahead and come into a little plank. And then we will meet in a kneeling position because we're going to go through kneeling hip flexor stretch just because it's so good. So she's going to come into kneeling. She's going to step the right foot forward. And then a lot of people get this one wrong. You want to walk the foot a little bit forward and then press into that knee. The foot forward is going to be important. Perfect. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Once again, you can use the block, demo with the block, left hand here. If you need a little bit of support, you can have it there and you can relax into the pose. Even for us, sometimes we're a little bit more advanced. Having a prop can help us kind of just like, all right, relax the arms a little bit and sink a little deeper into our stretches. Perfect. Awesome. And then you'll gently draw that right knee back a little bit. Stay with the block there. What you're going to do is hinge the right hip back. So she's going to hinge. She's going to pull it back, 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 back. She's going to flex that right foot, and she's going to forward stretch into the half monkey split, which is pretty cool pose. Half monkey split. Beautiful. Big stretch for the hamstring. Changing it up now, going from the hip flexor into the hamstring, which we will start to work on a little bit more. Perfect. And then gently release. Go ahead and place it. Beautiful. Come to stabilize yourself in a nice Single leg like this. You're going to come up and then you're going to bring it back, and we're just going to switch it over to the other side, walking the foot forward and then letting it sink. Beautiful. Perfect. Breathing, inhales and exhales. See, that's why we tapped back into the breathing. When it comes to the stretches, you want to find that steady mind state, steady breath, because the stretch response is going to try to tell you to no, pull out. So stretching actually works when you relax into them. So hold it here for about one more deep breath here. And then you can transition into the half monkey split. So you can go ahead, pull the leg back, pull the hip back, flex that foot. Beautiful. And then you can go ahead and forward stretch wherever it feels okay for you. Use a block if needed. Perfect. Each side is different, so no side is ever the same. This is where we're realigning it a little bit. We're doing single side stretches. Perfect. We're going to work a little bit on hamstrings now when we get up. Perfect. And then gently release. Come into the kneeling. Perfect. And then stabilize yourself. Come to lift the chest a little bit. Bring the knee back. Beautiful. And then we're going to come to stand up and do some standing stuff. So we're going to do some standing poses. I mean, we'll use the block for these. Hips a little bit looser now. They're getting there. They're getting there. Okay, so she's going to place the block in between the inner thighs, right above the fatty part of the quad. And this helps to literally, like we can be kind of crooked. This helps to realign you quite a bit. So this is pretty cool. So you're going to grab it here. And I really recommend using it for some stretches, like the ones we're going to do now even. Toes are nice and pointed forward. And you've seen some of these stretches before, but we're going to incorporate that block and a little bit of inner thigh squeeze and tension, which helps you to lock your hips in place as you're doing these next few stretches. So you're going to reach the hands up, you're going to anchor your thighs into that block, and you're going to give yourself a side stretch. As you're side stretching, you're breathing, and you're perfect. Taking a nice deep inhale and exhale here, stretching all throughout the side of the body. This is one big fascia line where it connects from here to the front of the hip all the way down. So you want to stretch all of this. Perfect. Return to the center and then over to the other side gently. Beautiful. Very good. Taking a nice deep breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. Come back to the center. Awesome. All right. Now she's going to go ahead and grab her hips, and through the crease of the hip, and the knee is only a little bent, she's going to squeeze into the block and just tilt the hip back till she feels the hammies kind of like tug a little bit. Perfect. And then she's feeling that tension of a stretch here, and she's going to come back up again. She's going to do 5, trying to get a little bit deeper and deeper each time. So she's going to go ahead and hinge a little bit more, squeezing into the block. The block is helping you stay in a nice alignment, nice hip width. That tension into the block helps to kind of set the thigh bones into a good place. Good. Awesome. And then another one. Perfect. Beautiful. Can tell which leg is not the good one. Going to keep your knees back a little bit more. Go for it again. Imagine I was there trying to feel the difference. Mm-hmm. She's like, yeah, a lot more. One more, chest up, and only a micro bend in those knees. It's all harder than you think. And then you come back up again. Perfect. That's different. You're going to take the block from in between the thighs out, and now you're going to line up literally your feet like right here to the edge of the mat like that. You're going to make sure they stay in that nice little straight line there, okay? Now you're going to move the hips in the same way, okay? The reason she feels a lot of stretching into the hamstrings is because when you actually move the pelvis, it's going to pull on these hamstring lines a lot. So you're not doing it through the back, you're doing it more through a hip hinge. Perfect. And then you're going to come back up again. Beautiful. If you're doing this at home and you're bending the knees a little bit more, you're going to get your knees to lengthen back. I'm going to stop her knees from going forward and then go into the stretching and feel the difference now. The difference? Yeah. Good. And then you're going to come back up again. Perfect. This is how you actually warm up your hamstrings and give them some stretch. You got to get that pelvis to move back. We're going to do a few more. We're going to do about 2 more. And then we're going to enter a stretch. Say that hinging is now like the top mobility drill because it creates that stretch in the hamstring. One more, and then the fingertips are going to come on here. Perfect. Fingertips on here. Beautiful. You're going to stretch it forward. Pull the chin in. Good. You're going to micro soften the kneecaps a bit. Good. And you're going to put the weight back to the heels. I'm going to bring the block a little bit more in towards you. Perfect. And then you're going to come bring it in, straighten your elbows and lift the chest away from the block a little bit. Yes. Perfect. Draw the chin in and let the body weight go back to the heels. She's like, well, Nanette, what are you doing? Breathing. Very good. I want to try to keep a nice neutral spine. This is very hard for many people, so it's actually quite challenging. You're going to tilt your hip back better. The more you can tilt your pelvis, the better it is. The knees will micro bend a little bit more. If you're at home, all these cues are very helpful. You can take one nice deep breath. And then you're going to reach and rotate the left hand towards the ceiling. You're going to move your left hip to the left. So you're moving, moving, moving. Awesome. Feeling an inner thigh stretch because the hip is rotating in that left side direction. And then she's going to go ahead and twist it over to the other side. Done this with Heather before. This is a must-have stretch. Beautiful. Perfect. Nice. Awesome. And then gently release. She's going to place the palms on the thighs. She's going to lift the chest up first. Beautiful. And then you're going to come up all the way up. Perfect. Awesome. Shake it off. Move it around a little bit. Okay. So we're going to step into a lunge, and she's a little bit more of a yogi. So we are going to get into a little bit more of a deeper stretch now. I'm going to do lizard pose. Just do lizard. So she's going to have left foot forward, right one back. She has a nice step back, and then she's going to go ahead and ground the hands, slide the back foot as far as she can get it, land the right knee, and then open the left knee to the side. Perfect. So you don't have to do this. You can try. You can start on the ground. I'm going to do a little bit more. That's perfect. Nice. And then she's going to bring it back in. Perfect. And when you come out, you're going to straighten the left, step the right foot a little forward, and then fold over it a little bit. Keep working on that stretch. Beautiful. Perfect. Perfect. This is great. Beautiful. Nice. Now, sometimes I'm a little tough. It's going to be more challenging and requires some strength to get out. So she's going to put the hand on the block. She's going to lift her chest up, aligning the spine, making it nice and straight. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then she's going to come up strong using her left leg all the way up. Beautiful. And then she'll step it forward. There you go. All right. Let's go to, that'll make you sweat. Right leg is forward, left one is back. A little bend in that knee, a forward stretch. And once she finds that nice long leg, she's going to land it. And she's going to open up into a little bit of a deep stretch for the hip. Perfect. Awesome. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. She can lower this back knee down a little bit. Perfect. And then she'll be in it. The relaxing of the opposite leg to the side is what's going to help sink the hip a little bit more. So give yourself a nice deep breath here. Very beautiful. Nice. And then gently, she'll come and frame that front foot again. Step that left leg forward, stretch it. Getting that nice hamstring pull. Beautiful. Lifting the chest, bending the knee a little bit, coming up into a nice strong lunge. Perfect. And then shake it off. All right. We're going to get back to the ground to do some seated stretches on the sit bones. So let's come to take a seat. And then when you're here, legs will be lengthened. So you're going to go ahead and lengthen the legs out. Perfect. Now, micro bend the knees and flex the feet. And then you're going to go ahead, peace fingers, forward stretch. Okay? Now, I recommend the knee bend just because it allows you to get into the actual stretch. You'll see a lot of people do it with their legs straight, but don't do that. You can soften the knees and then actually allow yourself to stretch. Allow at least one more deep breath here. Perfect. And then gently release. Very good. And then she'll bring the hands behind her, lift the chest up, just take a nice little counter pose, an extension. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Beautiful. And then she'll release back to center. Place the right foot on the ground and wrap the right arm through the inner part. And she'll twist to the left. Perfect. Breathing, inhales and exhales. And then she'll gently release. Perfect. Lengthen that leg and just doing it on the other side. Just quickly. Perfect. And a twist. Very good. Breathing at least one more, holding it a little bit. Nice twisting motion. Mobilizing the joints of the spine. And then gently release back to the center. Lengthen both the legs. One more time, forward stretching. So she's going to go ahead, forward fold. Forward folding is going to get your hamstrings, bend the knee. Once again, bending the knee. If you're home, you don't have to get the legs straight. It's going to actually, as you saw, she was able to increase the stretch a little bit more. She was able to deepen the stretch. So, perfect. And then gently release and relax all the way back down again. I'm going to finish off with the two exercises, the knee together, toe together, and the cross stretch. So we're going to do knee together, toe together. I'm going to show the knees, and she's going to lengthen the legs out. Perfect. Tippy toes touch, heels separate a little bit, flexing the feet towards your nose, bending the knees a little bit, and then squeezing the thighs towards it. Better. So you're going to flex the feet. This pose is weird, huh? You feel strong? Yeah, this is a decompression pose. All right, so I'm going to help rebalance her a little bit. Perfect, much better than the beginning, so it's much more even. Perfect. She's going to reach the hands up over the heart. She's going to pull the ribs down. Nice. Cool, huh? It stretches a lot. It's so interesting, this pose. You got to try this pose if you're at home. This is so accessible, but it's so powerful. It has all the feels. And then gently release. Good. Place the feet flat on the ground. And then you're going to do the cross stretch again. So left leg over the right. Stretch it to the left side. Go ahead, press it down. Check back in. Sometimes we make a little bit more space. See? It's much more. Even her that she's pretty mobile, this is a much deeper range of motion. And then gently roll back to the center. Unravel the legs. Switch it over to the other side. You can do this whenever you feel like you need to have your lower back, your hips realigned, like you're crooked or something. Like you feel like you want to crack yourself also. This is one you want to practice. This is good. So you can tap back into this video whenever you want. Go ahead, check out the other ones. They're also great. We got some stretches in there. We got some good routines. Come back to the center. Unravel the legs. Good job. We're done for today. I hope you enjoyed this at home. I hope you're feeling better. You can stay here and relax in Savasana if you like. I'll see you for the next one.
Thank you for joining Align Mind Body today. I hope you're feeling a little more connected, centered, and aware of how your body moves and breathes. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress and mindfulness in each moment. To book a consultation, appointment, or for more information, contact me at 954-261-4719 or support@thevaulttraining.online. Be kind to yourself, stay intentional, and I'll see you next time as we continue this journey toward alignment and wellness.